ashes to ashes.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I collected more polls from the Tekken subreddit and I want to talk about these and break it down. And the first one that I want to start on is possibly the most important. Preferred roster number. The reason why I think this is the most important for characters especially is because depending on how many characters they are willing to put in the base roster, that decides everything. If they want to do 24, 28, 32 or 36 like Tekken 7 was. 320 votes on this. 94 says 30, and I would put myself somewhere in between 25 to 30. I think 28 is probably a sweet spot, but if they want to get even sweeter, 26, 27, but I think 28 perfect. 132 people say 30 to 40. The reason why I think this is out of the question because of how bloated Tekken 7 was. People complain all the time about how there's too many characters, there's too much stuff to lab and to practice and to remember. That's because of how many characters is in the game, right? You can't complain about something and then in Tekken 8 say, but do it again. If the community is complaining, the developers is going to react to that, right? The top comment on this says, at least 30 to start. We've been getting at least 30 characters since Tekken 5, and it wasn't an issue until your favorite influencers convince you having less than 20 characters would mean you would suck less at Tekken. Plus, less characters at launch means even more DLC to buy. Use your brains. Also, majority of you still won't lab the shit if there was only 10 characters in the game. I kind of agree with this. I'd be 100% against that monkey see, monkey do mentality. I don't think we should just hear content creators and just repeat what they say. 26, 27 is the lowest. Anything under that, it's too little. And here's the thing too, the part there about DLC and stuff like that, for me it doesn't matter. Like, I realized in Tekken 7, no matter what character they sell as DLC, I'm gonna play Yoshimitsu. And that's it. So I'm not buying any DLC. I really don't care who they have as DLC because Yoshimitsu, as long as he's there, it's golden. Another poll says crossplay. Now that Tekken 8 is next gen only game, crossplay is almost inevitable to keep the player pool full. Who will have the stronger players? I'm curious if there's still a skill gap between the player base, and this is how it gets revealed. I play Xbox. The gameplay you guys see on my YouTube is Xbox. When I live stream, it's PlayStation. So I'm getting very familiar with both, and I see the difference between players, between netcode, online load times. I'm really understanding the PlayStation player base and Xbox. And I kind of think that maybe the PlayStation player base is stronger. What I'm realizing in the live stream is, so right now live stream I'm at internal ruler. That's about 6 ranks lower than where I'm at on Xbox. So I'm starting to run into the same kind of resistance as where I'm at on Xbox, but I still think it's different. PlayStation is better, but it's not way better how people think. I really think 3-4 ranks is the difference between the skill gap, but nothing higher. PC, which is the winner, 312. There has been a couple times though where someone from PC will come to Xbox or come to PlayStation, and when I fight them, it's a nightmare. So that's one thing that I will say. The times where PC does come to console, I cannot touch them. The next one says Tekken 8 release date. I don't think it will be before TWT finals, so Q2 or Q3 seems realistic. 327 votes, Q3 2023, Q2 2023, Q4 23, 24, and then 24. I get asked this often on the live stream as well, which is why I want to talk about it. Street Fighter is said to release. It's not confirmed, but it's hinted to release in February. So that gives basically after July, Tekken 7 can release anytime after that. And considering how they announced it at EVO, or they teased it at EVO, is then a little bit later, I think the release date for Tekken 8 would fall in October of 2020, 2023. That's what I think. October 2023, because anything after that you run into the holiday season, and anything before you kind of run into a little bit of Street Fighter stuff. So that's the wiggle room. I think September, August, October. Those 3 months seems very likely to me. The next poll says, which Street Fighter do you think will be featured in Tekken 8? 176 votes on this. It's a landslide victory. 115 people say there will be no one from Street Fighter. I think 2D characters is going to be off the board with Tekken 8. Just considering how troublesome it was in Tekken 7, I would be surprised if the developers try to do not only Street Fighter, but Guilty Gear. Any of those 2D characters, I would be surprised if they tried it, because no one, like everyone, absolutely hates it. I did a poll to see how people felt about the entire course of Tekken 7, from arcades all the way up to 5.0. How would you rate it? Most people said positive, but there was a lot of people saying mixed. And if you go into the comment section, the reason they were saying mixed is because of DLC characters and improper balancing. So it's like, that has such a big impact on everyone. No one wants to deal with overpowered characters for 6 years all over again, right? It's just too much. The next poll, should characters such as Mokujin and Roger Jr. return for Tekken 8? 151 votes, 94 says yes. I already said I think Mokujin will be there just so people have something to celebrate, have something to be happy about, proud of. But Roger Jr., I'll show you guys the screenshot, but this character might possibly never ever be in a Tekken game ever. I mentioned this already, so I won't go into details, but pause and read this if you want to find out for yourself. Choose a theory on how Jun Kazama could be rescued if she's to finally make an epic return in Tekken 8. Ever since the ordeal with Ogre trying to save Jin, she must have survived somehow. 41 votes says Angel, 18 says Hydro, and I kind of talked about a poll like this already before, but the reason why I want to do it again is because it's fascinating how there's a lot of people who know that she is alive now. We've seen it in Tekken Bloodline, how she escaped, but also on Twitter, Harada said like 3 or 4 times that she is 100% alive, and not only alive, but she will return because she's important to Jin and Kazuya. And I think hopefully Tekken 8 can fix these sort of inconsistencies in the story, because it causes, when they play this are they alive or are they not alive game, it causes so much confusion in the community. Baek Dusan, Wang, Jun Kazama, Bruce, so many characters, Michelle. No matter how many times people say it, they still don't know if these characters are alive or not. And it's because they're not in the game. The game has to say it. Not Harada, not Main Man, not me, the game. The next poll, the ending of Tekken 8. Other predictions and comments. 376 votes, 99 says Jin kills Kazuya. Skipping down to the bottom 2, 91 says Jin and Kazuya both die. 107 says father and son handshake. I'm guessing they make peace, you know? And I kind of think all of these is not the way to go. I don't think Jin will kill Kazuya, not yet, at least, not yet. But also I don't think both of them will die, not yet. The devs have established that Tekken 8 is the start of a new era, the new generation. Like if you go to the Tekken Lore Explained playlist and you watch the video on Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin, you will see how Harada feels about these 3 characters and the story overall. He wants to push the story to the next phase, the next cycle, and I don't think he's going to end it so abruptly. We will see this battle between Jin and Kazuya, I think, spread out across 1 to 2, 3 games, and Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. If they spread it out over a couple of games, you could have so many more characters interacting. Like, people forget, we still have Claudio, Zafina, Lita, Miguel, Leo, Eddie. We have so many other characters that want to get in on the action. Jin versus Kazuya, but they're never given the opportunity. If you spread the story out, that gives other characters the opportunity to have an effect. Thoughts on dead or returning characters? Never thought of this before, but what does everyone think about characters who died coming back? The Mishimas can be omitted, but characters like Beck, Bruce, Wang, etc., who canonically were revealed to be alive. 241 votes. 183 says, I like dead characters returning. 103 says, dead characters should have stayed dead. Of course, it differs from situation to situation, character to character, but for most of them, I think dead characters should stay dead. Wang, he was alive at the end of Tekken 6. He may have died during Tekken 7, but if he's dead, then that's it. Baek Do-san is not dead. He simply is retired. I think we will see some kind of interaction between him and Harang in Tekken 8. Michelle, leave her out. Jun Kazama, come on in. Bruce, if they really want to bring that character back to enhance the story of Kazuya, then do so. But for any other reasons, I don't think so. Just a second ago when I was talking about the next generation of Tekken, that is what we need to be focused on. We cannot be stuck in the past on characters from 20, 30 years ago. The developers is not going to make Tekken 8 like Tekken 3. They're going to make Tekken 8, Tekken 8. It's going to be its own new thing. And yes, it may have some callbacks. As we saw in the trailer, they did a remake of the song from Tekken 3, but it's not going to be completely Tekken 3 again, right? Who cares? Kazumi died before the events of the first Tekken game. Tekken isn't a story-oriented game, and characters don't need to appear in the story. Just add them as flashbacks or something. I like here how people say the story doesn't matter, but then they say just add them as a flashback. I don't know why everyone is so fixated on Kazumi being a flashback. Whenever someone wants a character like Heihachi or something, they'd say, oh, just do a flashback. That is not how good stories are crafted. You can't just flash back to some random thing and then boom, a character's in the game. If you want to put them in the game, give it a purpose, give it a reason. Adding flashbacks for just willy-nilly any character, that would be atrocious. Some characters, yes, it would work, but not every character you can do that. It's so simple. Kazuya walking to whatever, and he can have Anna behind him, Bruce behind him, he can have his whole gang behind him, and they're all just walking. That's as simple as you need to make it. You don't need to do this whole flashback into some crazy stuff. They could literally just be standing there, and then boom, they're a part of the story in the game. If you were to sacrifice one thing in Tekken 8 to make all other aspects of it improve tremendously, what would you pick? 394 votes. I thought this poll was amazing. 116 says a comprehensive and in-depth tutorial, meaning people would get rid of a tutorial to make the game itself better. And I think this is, I want to say selfish, because the tutorial is what brings people into the game. It's what teaches people how to play, how to understand it. But we all know the game, right? Everyone watching this video, you guys probably understand Tekken to a certain extent. You don't need a tutorial. The tutorial is for the others who don't know. And to sacrifice that is to sacrifice the barrier of entry in a way. I just thought that was interesting how that was the highest one out of all of them. Number 2 says godly amount of customization for each character. That is kind of, because people always talk about customization, but the fact that that is number 2 to sacrifice, that's it's fascinating. Whoever came up with this poll, fried caviar, this was a good idea. Of course they're a Yoshi main. You see that? Yoshi main came up with this. 65 votes, story mode that takes more than 2 brain cells to enjoy. I wouldn't sacrifice the story. That's the thing, right? Try hard Tekken fans don't appreciate story. But when you have people on Twitch like XQC, Pokimane, all of those big streamers, when Tekken 8 comes out, they are going to play the story mode. that is what they are going to experience. And some of them will then transition into online, but story mode is what they're going to play through. And if you have story mode trash, then Twitch and everyone who just plays the story, their whole idea about the game is going to be trash. We have a tendency to only think like Tekken fans, like super try hard Tekken fans, and that will hurt the game in a sense, because you have to think about how casuals, how streamers, how everyone else will interact with the game too. Like getting rid of a tutorial, a bad story, that is casual focused things, right? For Aris, whenever a new fighting game came out, what has he done? He went into the tutorial and he's just been sitting in the tutorial for 3 hours, right? That's the thing that people are not really taking into consideration, I would say. I think that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to bounce through all of these polls because I think all of them have some sort of purpose, some sort of truth to them. And in this video, I just want to talk about all of them because Tekken 8, like Harada said, is going to be the next generation, the next chapter. And sooner than later, all of these things are going to become a reality, right? So thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.